I was just looking at a post of someone I follow. I'll link her name down below. I just can't think of it right now. But she's, I believe, like an activist, but she's also a rapper. And I just love when our people can, use their creative energy to have, a major cause and purpose and, some form of activism. It's it just shows you how gifted and talented we are. Because when you can make a rap that flows and actually has meaning, and you're not just kind of throwing words together, because you got to think about it. It has to really make sense, and the message has to be clear and not just put together in some kind of way to make it rhyme, try to rhyme, but it really don't. You know what I mean? That takes talent. But anywho, it was about, the constant agenda of the black male and the black female. And I followed 2 pages. One of them, another page, I loved how she did a post that showed how black men and black women have a history of working well together. So it's showing our roots in a positive light. So they both have the same agenda, but a different method. And I love that because it's just showing the ways that in which we can heal. And there's not one linear way. It's not black and white. It's a spectrum. So because it's in one aspect, you're bringing awareness of how we are being used as scapegoats and how our people are being put against each other. And as I like to call it, we're being hitchmen to the massa mentality. Still carrying this PTSS or post-traumatic slave syndrome that is a result of our ancestors, carrying all these unhealed wounds in a reality or a world that has not given us any healing interventions or any type of economic, and I'm saying economic in the form of healing because I don't care how you want to spin it, economics and financial freedom or just stability is a major aspect in healing. Poverty is a major association with trauma, and we not, the list can go on and on, but just in a nutshell. So don't try to tell me it's not about the money, because it is. All of your most high mighty influencers and teachers and leaders, they're well off. I've never seen a homeless powerful leader. So at the end of the day, the word can be in anything, in anyone, even a homeless person. But what I'm trying to tell you is, don't let people make you feel like money is something to be feel guilty or shameful or judgmental about because you want money, you need money to survive. But back on topic. So in one way, you're bringing awareness to how we're being put against each other in the media and music and everything. But on the other hand, you're shift the narrative to take away the shame and guilt of being a black man and a black woman, because at the end of the day, that is not who we are. Because when you show the history that we have been able to be successful, that our ancestors were at once before kings and queens together, working in harmony, divine partnership, these power couples, not power struggles as I've coined. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically, they're working together to let you know, yeah, we got some work to do, but don't take it in shame. Because when you carry shame, judgment, and guilt in your healing process, it becomes counterproductive. And I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face, until I'm dead and gone. I'm going to keep reiterating that, because there's no reason why we should be walking around here like we the poorest race. And I'm not talking about financial, but we the worse off race, or, we the most lost cause. When my people are my focus. So in a sense, it's going to naturally feel like we're the only ones that have issues, but it's not that we're the only ones that have issues. It's just that you are my focus and my people are my focus. So I'm gonna worry about us and how to help us, because we all we got. I'm about leveling the playing field, closing the gap of inequality, bringing equity into this world, inclusion, diversity into this world. But with the focus on our community, because we always want to, bring other people in, do this and do that, when no one's bringing us in. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that mindset, having that understanding that there's things that we have to work on, and it's not to shame you, it's to empower you. Because when you stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. When you understand there's a agenda, there's a systemic agenda put against you to tear your family apart, to tear black love, to tear black families, because they are a powerful foundation for breeding powerful youth, which is the future, then you have a deeper understanding, and then you can fight against those energies together, instead of it just being one or the other partner. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, both y'all got to understand the assignment. It can't just be the wife, it can't just be the husband who has this idea and understanding and overstanding and understanding of what's going on with y'all spiritually. And as you go through this awakening process, I'm bringing this up again, but if y'all check my receipts, you know what I'm saying, I've been on this black male and black female against each other, realization. And that's because when you're awakening that, descendant of freedmen, that black American spirit, that black indigenous spirit on American soil, we have gone through the same trials and tribulations. We are descendants of those. We carry that ancestral gene. So we kind of go through the same cycle, the same pattern. If you understand, if you follow spirituality and stuff, you kind of know how people always say, there's a pattern. Like, you go through the dark night of the soul, you go through the awakening. Like, there's like a little kind of blueprint of the awakening, even though the time frames can be different for each person. The order can even be different, but there's kind of like a consensus. It's kind of the same thing, but like I always say, sometimes we need our own blueprint. Like, we need our own baseline. We need our own regulations. I can't think of the word, but it's not regulations. But we just need our own baseline of ideas, because for us, our experiences have been different, so our healing process is going to be different, right? Same thing like in the medical industry. We are different. I'm convinced that our biology, our DNA is different. So what's normal for one race, which has been revolved around Eurocentric, standards, may not be the same. The normal thyroid levels may not be the normal thyroid levels for an African American or, black freedmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand that mindset. So, same with spirituality. We go through a different phase. I know for me, I'm working on, the phases, because I've gone through the awakening process, because I had to go through my own healing, but also because it gives me a sense of testimony that I can teach with. It gives me the empathy and understanding so I can teach with. And so I'm working on my discipline to get that organized, to kind of break down the cycle. Or even if it's not in the cycle, for the same cycle for you, at least you kind of have an idea or the awareness of how to tackle each of these phases. And one of them is understanding the phase of, the black couple or black love dynamic, the black family dynamic, and awakening to that agenda. Also, one of them is just awakening to your self-worth and realizing you are worthy, you're innately worthy, outside of any of the systems that have told you and have told your ancestors that they were merely cattle, merely an object, sheep, chicken in a chicken coop, just nothing, whatever they want to, you whatever they tell you, whatever master tell you is like, nah, like, just awakening to that. And it may sound stupid that people have to awaken to that, but it's a deep-seated impact on your psyche. And that's what I'm saying. The work is being done. It's diabolical genius. I always say this, me and my sister, because they don't got to do no work. They've embedded this system so hard, the oppression so deeply is so deep-seated that they don't have to do the work, because We act as henchmen. We instill it in our children's. We watch it on the media. It's being programmed. It's being conditioned. The world has it so ingrained in each other's subconsciously that it keeps proving our mind right. So it's hard to get out of that energy, and it's hard to believe that there is peace. But there is. You just have to create it for yourself. You have to take it and cultivate it yourself, because nobody's going to give it to you. Yeah, have the awareness of systems, but don't let it steal your joy and steal your peace. I still can find moments of peace and joy knowing that there are systems in this world. But another thing I wanted to talk about, just based on that, it's like, this may be a little bit off the topic of what I'm saying about black men and black women, but it's still relevant. All of it is. It's like, I was just thinking, and it's like, I was thinking about this post I'm going to put on my stories about, it's really effed up. Your nervous system is effed up. Speaking on black people, of course, when your body's at peace and you still like freaking out, like you panic. Your body panics at peace. And that's because it's been so stuck in survival mode, fight or flight for so long, that peace is a foreign emotion. And I've spoken on this before. These higher vibrational emotions can send your psyche and mind into shock as well. Your body enjoys it, but then instantly, sometimes you go into this, inadvertently, you go into these emotions of panic or what ifs or worst case scenario. Like, your mind is like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this euphoric feeling? What is this bliss? What the hell? Joy? What? Like, your body hasn't been in these emotions long enough to like really enjoy. And so it can give you like negative thoughts, or paranoid, or scared, or skeptical. All these types of, it brings up these emotions because that has been conditioned as your home. You feel like home is more of a chaos, because we are adaptable people. So we've adapted to chaos in this world. So when you adapt to something, out of survival, that becomes your home. So imagine being stripped out of your home and just dropped into another place. Yeah, it may be tranquil and peaceful, but you're like, where in the hell am I? I'm not in Kansas anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like clicking your heels and like, I wish I was home type moment. But you have to tell yourself, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not at home, but home really wasn't happy. Now this is the true home. I'm really coming to home. The rosary colored shades are coming off, and now I see that where I was at really wasn't bringing me joy inside. My internal world was given to me. It was prescribed. It was infiltrated into my system. This is not my essence. I can be at peace in my inner world. I can be in joy in my inner world. You know what I'm saying? So, but I come to that to say, it's like, what would we even do? We probably wouldn't even know what to do with ourselves if this world was really peaceful. We've been fighting for so long that fighting gives us, it's a big part of our purpose. And honestly, we are going to be fighting forever, probably. Like, I ain't going to say forever, but obviously in my lifetime, I know it's going to still be a fight. But what I want you to understand is, even though there's a fight, don't let that overshadow the purpose of joy. That is just as big of a purpose as fighting. The purpose of peace is just as big of, oh, you're going to get over it? What? Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm driving, and I can't stand when people don't have their signal light on. I don't want to, even though I can predict your moves, I don't really want to. But, yeah, back to the topic. Like, prioritize peace just like you prioritize your purpose in fighting, God knows that you feel called and that deep-seated yearning to do something bigger than yourself. He put it in you. He put that calling in you. But part of your calling is also yourself. And so that's part of walking in purpose. But yeah, that's all. I just wanted to kind of speak on that and get that off my chest. As always, keep God first. Peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. I love you guys. Peace out. Hey guys, I know I created an episode called Peace, and coincidentally I just started thinking about something that's opposite of peace. It's kind of how the mind works a little bit. But I was really just reflecting more on negative self-talk. And I really don't like putting labels of positive, negative. But basically just kind of like how the words that I say make me feel. And I just started like reflecting on it and assessing it. Because I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I'm a little under the weather. I don't know if you can kind of hear. My allergies have been like kicking my butt. I don't know what it is in this air or whatever, but it's not doing well with my system. But anyway, so, I'm just getting ready to leave for work. And then, of course, I forget my phone up the stairs. I'm already in my car. So I'm like, dang, gotta go back in, run back up these stairs to get my phone. And I'm like, I just instantly started beating myself up like probably 10 little phrases back to back to back. Oh my God, dang, just like, oh, now you're gonna be late. Now this and this. And you need to be more disciplined. You need to be on time. And I just going on and on and on. And then I just instantly stopped. And I'm like, it made me start thinking like the way we talk to ourselves is directly related to the constructs that are built around us, like, school, work, most of these like systems that are heavily driven by like structure and discipline. And not saying that there's anything wrong with structure and discipline. I feel like all of our free spirits at some aspect need some form of discipline. That's, the divine masculine energy. But I do feel like anything can be taken out of context and just ran with it. People just take it and run with it and go overboard with it. But it just made me think about that. Like, would I really be beating myself up if I knew I didn't have to be to work by a certain time? Or really the first thing I said to myself was, you know what? You don't even feel 100%. Give yourself grace. Like no bullshit. They lucky you even coming in. Like, because I'm sacrificing my health to come and work and be surrounded by kids who are going to be disrespectful and not even realize your struggle anyway. They're not going to have no empathy or compassion for you. Not saying that that's an excuse, but it's like, these are, like, give yourself grace, bro. Like, every time you get up and you bring yourself into work, that is something to be grateful for. Like, God gave you the strength to wake up this morning. Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because I'm not trying to, like I said, make an excuse. But the thing is, guys, I'm not even going to be late. Like, and I just started going off the rails. Like, in my head, like, the self-talk. And I'm like, this is when I feel like the healing journey can become counterproductive. Because people get a little bit obsessive and self-analytical. And that brings up, like, other emotions, like, and feelings of self-hate and just self-disappointment, a lot of the selves that you don't want. So, not self-love, not self-compassion, not self-grace, but all of the negative selves. So it's like, you don't want that. And when you start getting those feelings and emotions, when they start to arise, you have to come back to grace. You always, life is like meditation. Because, in meditation, there's always something they tell you to keep coming back to, like keep coming back home. Come back to a word, or come back to your breath, or come back to a feeling. Whatever it is, to come back to ground. Because you can float off in your mind, in the space, in the ethers, whatever. It's the same thing in life. When you start spinning out of control and going down those rabbit holes of conspiracies, or going down the rabbit holes of obsessive healing and fixing this. Oh, I'm too impatient. Oh, I'm too competitive. Oh, I'm too I'm broken. I'm out. All these things, and it's like a bunch of noise to the point where you can't even hear the words no more. It's just like gut wrenching or screeching noise that you cannot stop. Then that tells you, that's a sign that you need to come back to something that grounds you. Come back to grace. Come back to self-compassion. Come back to God. Come back to prayer. Come back to meditation. Whatever, come back to family. Come back to love. Whatever grounds you, you need to come back to it. Because you don't want to be flying off into the mind when you have not even healed it, when you don't even know the first place, or what you're necessarily doing in the healing journey, or how to do it, especially if you don't have some sort of guidance. Someone who's been through some some phase of what you've already gone through, who can give you a little bit of insight with integrity, you know? Someone you can trust. Someone has some level of righteousness in them. Someone who carries that 5% gene in them, that truth-telling gene, you know? Keeping it real with some level of compassion. It's like a tough love, you know, it's a balance. But yeah, that's all. I was just kind of thinking on self-talk and like a lot of associations. So I'll leave you with the question of, what do you think your self-talk, and I'm being specific, negative self-talk stems from? What's the roots of it? I'm all about getting to the roots to finding the solution. As always, keep God first. Peace, love, and light and healing energies. Be open to receiving them. I love you guys. Peace out. Rising, shining light, opulent solution seekers. It's your girl, the spiritual activist, coming to you with another word, message, spot of wisdom, whatever you want to call it. So I was just thinking, I'm like, I heard someone once say, like, the best teachers have the hardest lives, or had the hardest lives, or whatever. And I was just kind of thinking about how I could be zoned out in my head, and it's like, just randomly, you know, you're driving. Like I said, there's a lot of things in this life that has become my form of meditation. Things that you don't even think about are meditation for me, like washing dishes, washing clothes, driving, cleaning up, walking, running, you know, those things be like meditation for me. But anyway, so I'm driving. It's like a big reflection time for me. And I was just thinking, I'm like, bro, I'll be like zoned out in my head, like just really in my head. And it's like just thinking about being present. And it's like sometimes when you in that like grind mode, or just real like hyper focused mentality because you're really trying to get somewhere, it's really kind of hard to just stay present. Hold on. Ain't that about a bit, bro? I swear, done said my whole little thing and wasn't even pressing record. I swear the devil be busy, bro. But that's right, because I remember whatever is meant to be, and that's important, that was meant for y'all to hear, y'all gonna hear. So what I was saying was, you know, what makes a good teacher is the fact that they have a skill. You know, it's not that they are experiencing something differently than the average person. It's just that they have that ability to be able to discern. They have the ability to be able to see things from both ends of the spectrum, you know, both perspectives, from the human perspective as well as the divine, or, you know, spiritual type perspective. Being able to understand something and understand something and not just experience it, being able to reflect on it and see it for the bigger picture. That's a skill, that's a gift that teachers and healers have. They have a collective mindset too. They can tap into that collective mindset too, but they also know how to detach away from it and have their own mind. You know what I'm saying? Like not going with the flock or the pack. At least not the ones that are still heavily in need of healing from the manipulative mindset. You know, not the mindset that's easily manipulated, should I say rather. You know, they understand how we are heavily spiritually manipulated, and they know how to detach from that and like kind of make their own judgments and trust themselves and use that spirit of discernment to sit with God and sit with themselves and figure out what is the best choice for them. They have their own inner voice and not the inner voice of the collective or what's being infiltrated into the collective. Also, what I was saying was, you know, a lot of times people are very definitive about things like, don't be in your head, don't do this, don't do that, this is bad, this is bad. And I'm more so of a moderate type of person, like everything in moderation. It's not just black and white, it's not bad or good, it's a spectrum, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's good to be in your head because that is a form of meditation, reflecting when you in that like grind mode, or when you in that hyper-focused mentality, you're trying to figure out what you need to be doing, and that's going to take some level of reflection. You know what I'm saying? Like, how else are you going to have this inner dialogue? That's what inner dialogue is. And so just understanding that, and then also realizing there's no one way to do things. There's many roads to the same path. There's many modalities and methods to finding your way back home. You have to find the ones that works for you, and sometimes there's multiple. Like for me, I say this a lot. I love aromatherapy. I love walking in nature, like the park. I love mundane things too. I've learned to change some of the things I just looked at as mundane or boring, regular, everyday stuff, and I've made them purposeful and intentional. So when I'm cleaning or washing dishes or washing clothes, I kind of zone out, but in a a more positive way, like purposeful. I zone out into my own reflection and inner dialogue. And what I've realized with me, and maybe some people with like ADHD can probably relate. Like I said, I shy away from certain diagnoses, but sometimes when you find a way to calm your physical body down, it allows your mind to feel a sense of peace, because it's not like you have to think about the fight or flight instinct. Your body is feeling some form of threat, so it's triggering the energy and emotions within your body and sending signals to your brain, which turn into thoughts, which can become intrusive, can become whatever. So basically, when I calm my body down, I'm allowing my mind to be able to peacefully have an inner dialogue within myself. You know what I'm saying? And so when I move my body, that's why they say movement is medicine. When I move my body in a way that allows my brain to just relax, then it's meditation for me. So these are just things I want y'all to think about when it comes to self-talk, inner dialogue, reflecting, and quote unquote being in your head. It's not all bad. And to me, these are aspects of what makes a great teacher, is that ability to sit with ourselves, have the hard conversations, those come to Jesus moments, because God knows I critique the hell out of myself, but it's like the constructive criticism, I don't take it personally. When you take things personally a little bit too much, you're giving it your power away, because it's like somebody says, oh, I really wish you would have decorated the cake this way, for example. So you start beating yourself up saying, oh, I should have did that. You can't let someone's opinion kill your confidence, bring your self-esteem down, your self-worth down, all this stuff. Like, you've just let them make one comment and take your power that easily. Same thing with just making you angry or making you sad. Like, yeah, be a human, you know what I'm saying? Things piss us off and whatnot, but it's like, bro, you got to learn how emotions are energy in motion. You're not designed to hold on to that stuff. That's why stress is a silent killer. The stress is coming from pent up emotions, energy, stagnant energy that you have not let pass through, that you have not healed through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like different emotions call for different forms of release. And there's so many things that you can do. I'm going to be posting something on my page on IG eventually. I posted things several times, but you got to redo it, because like I said, the awakenings come in waves, and you got to always be able to kind of feel where that wave is coming back again, and just, put information back out there, or direct people back to certain posts, podcasts, episodes, whatever it is, because there's always people who are constantly becoming aware of the society that we live in, and breaking down that matrix of, the smokes and mirrors that paint the illusions and delusions. Like I said, you're not crazy or insane, you just live in an asylum. So I'm just that nurse in that asylum that allows you to skip that pill, because I know you really ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that person, that angel on earth, that teacher that's trying to bring awareness to you. But as always, guys, peace, love, light, and healing energies. Be open to receive them. Keep God first as always. I love you guys. Peace out.